Hello and welcome to Writing Quest. My name is Brendan Pugh, and in today's episode we're going to take a look at the binder feature in Scrivener. Huzzah! Okay, so in our first video on Scrivener, we talked just kind of a general overview of this whole program. And so in this video, we are going to focus primarily on the binder feature and just kind of do a quick little walkthrough of everything you can do with the binder feature. And so let's jump into the computer here. And the binder is the part of the software that's right over here on the left-hand side. And it's basically where everything in your story is contained. So it's where you kind of organize your story. It's where everything that you've done for characters and places and research and all that stuff, including your manuscript, gets kept. We'll just walk through some of the sections here. So the first one is this novel format. So depending on what you pick at the beginning when you create a new project, it'll give you the formatting for that particular project. So in this instance, I started a novel, so I picked a novel format, and basically all this is an about section that's produced by the people who make Scrivener. It's an about this template, how to use it with some instructions all the way down, compiling, which is putting your manuscript all together, etc., etc. The next part is your actual manuscript. Now, you'll notice that the window here changes depending on what I click on, and we'll get into that in another video. But in this video, we're just talking about this binder section. So the next thing after novel format is the manuscript. And the manuscript is where you can have folders, documents, all that kind of stuff where you actually do the writing. So I like to break things up into a bunch of different folders. You don't have to do that. I prefer to. And you can do as many nested folders as you need. So I like to do a Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 folder for each one of those. And you can change the icons to these little books if you want. And then I also keep a document at the top for the outline of the story, so I can kind of reference that if I need to. And then if I have any ideas, I create a separate folder for that. Then once you get into the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, each one of those has different chapter folders for each of the chapters that I have planned. And then finally, inside those chapter folders, I have the actual documents that I write. The great thing about Scrivener is that you can break things up into so many different, sizes. So if you want to write a whole chapter in one document, you can. I like to break mine up a little bit. So I kind of write the setup. I write different parts of it in separate documents so I can just kind of focus myself. It works best for me to do that. I get a little overwhelmed sometimes when I'm looking at the whole story. So I'll pick my chapter that I'm in, and then I'll set up a couple of different documents for different sections of that chapter. And then you can go back and you can read them in one of the different views and see the whole story that you've written, that whole chapter in one long document. So that's kind of how the manuscript gets broken up. And so we can close that up. And the next part is this extras folder. So the extras folder contains all of your characters, places, front matter, and notes. So characters are exactly what you think they are. We'll get down into the template sheets here in a little bit. But any of the template sheets you make for characters, character sketch, settings, any of that stuff gets put into this characters folder. So when you're writing your novel, you can go into here, you're writing. You want to reference a character, those are down here. You can twirl it down, you can see all your characters. You can also do nested folders in this, so you can have different groups, put those characters inside the groups, and then you have your character sheets all there ready for you to grab. Same thing with places, and I believe you can make as many of those different things. So if you have groups, if you have different cultures, if you have different creatures, anything like that you want to do, that all gets kept here in the extras area. Front matter is interesting. It's basically just where you it's mostly for the compile feature when you get to that point, when you are compiling your manuscript to be sent off to whoever you may be sending it off to. And it's basically where you put in the front page stuff of the manuscript. So project title, name, how many words, address, phone number, all that kind of stuff. And they have a couple of different things here. So if you did it for paperback, hardback, manuscript, ebook, whatever you may do. So That's only really comes into play when you get to the compile feature and it adds your cover page, essentially. Then finally, we have our little notes section, and this is where you can keep any kind of notes that you may have or need, and you basically can just add things like you would anything else. You add a new text sheet, stays in your notes. You can add more folders if you want. Anything you need. It's just kind of a dump box for all of your notes and ideas. Next, you have this research tab where you can put your research for your novel. So whether if you're writing some kind of historical fiction or just any kind of fiction, even fantasy, although generally with fantasy, you do your own world building. So you have less of the research outside of your own story. But if you were doing some research like a spy novel or something like that, all of that can go down here for easy reference. So you can pull it up whenever you need to when you are writing. And then finally, we have one of the best features down here with the template sheets. Template sheets are things that you can, anything you put in this folder is going to show up here. Instead of hitting the little green arrow to add a new document, you actually click the little toggle here, and anything you put in the template sheets will end up being right here. So you want a new character. If you just want to create a new character, you just click that, boom. Gives you this character. This is their pre-made one that the Scrivener has built, but as you can see, I've built my own, which has a whole bunch of different stuff. Actually, I think I found that from someone else, but so anything, and then you can drag it up here and put it in the characters thing, and then that's where you can keep all your characters. So the templates button is really, really nice for anything that you use a lot of. Last but not least, you have the trash, and the trash is nice because it keeps anything and everything that you have thrown away. So when you throw something away in Scrivener, it doesn't totally go away, which is really nice because I've definitely had many times where I've come back and needed to find something that I previously trashed and decided I wanted back. So obviously you can empty the trash, but we won't do that because that makes me feel scared. So that is the binder feature of Scrivener. I hope you liked this video and enjoyed it. Check out our other videos on Scrivener if you want some more in-depth knowledge on how it works. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Put a comment below. Like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, and we will see you next time on Writing Quest. Huzzah!